Hi, my name is Luke Fairhead and I'm an illustrator and designer based in London that goes by the name of Soft Shock Design. I've been going on tons of walks during lockdown to help clear my head and get out of the house, and one thing that I always notice on these walks is the amount of nitrous oxide canisters littering the streets. You may know of these as laughing gas, NOS or hippie crack. Either way, they seem to be everywhere, so naturally I thought, what would these things look like painted? First things first, these things need to be washed and prepped for paint. I used some wire wool to slightly roughen up the surface, allowing the paint to stick a little easier, and you could also use a fine grit sandpaper here. Next, I coated these things with a primer. This basically serves as an undercoat so that the paint can stick to it easier and it won't flake off. Here I'm using a metal primer from Montana, and I'm using blue tack and sewing needles here to keep these things upright. If the primer is coated unevenly, you may need to sand it back a little with some fine grit sandpaper, just to leave a smooth surface of painting. I then sprayed these with some black spray paint. I used a water-based matte black from Montana. This takes a little longer to dry, but it gives off less fumes than the oil-based version. Again, I was a little overzealous with the spray paint here, so I had to use a fine grit sandpaper to sand back to a smooth finish before giving it another couple of coats for good measure. Just flipping these guys round so I can spray the bottoms, as we want an even coat all over. Now for the fun bit. To draw on these I'm using a fine white Posca pen. I sketched out some initial ideas on the iPad for each design to use as a reference. Due to these things being so small and awkwardly shaped, I wanted to do a design that was fairly loose and didn't require too much accuracy. I decided to literally just doodle all over them, with designs loosely inspired by a flash tattoo. To prevent the paint from being smudged by my fingers, I used a hairdryer to periodically dry each section before starting on the next. The shape and the size was super challenging to paint on, and I found myself having to change some of the designs to fit accordingly. To finish these off, I sprayed them with a few coats of matte varnish, and this protects it from chipping, as well as long exposure to UV light. found some mini box frames from Hobbycraft that were perfect size for these canisters. I modified them a little bit by spraying the inside of the box white, just to give it contrast against the black canister. I'm just finding the centre of each frame here so that I can glue these canisters in the correct place. Next up, assembly. And here are the finished pieces. I'm pretty pleased with how these turned out, and hopefully this might inspire you to pick up something destined for the landfill and turn it into art. If you'd like to own one of these are now up on my website for sale at softshockdesign.com. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and give me a follow over at Instagram at softshockdesign. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.